took the hero classes that they had for like your superhero stuff and made it a shooter, because it was built to be kind of a more action shooter type game anyway, but it's just an MMO, you know, something different than tab targeting and all that. So they took all the assets they could from it and salvaged it and made it Overwatch. That's why they had really cool character designs and stuff off their rip, and it ran really well because they had a lot of tech built into it. Then they tried to make a survival game that apparently was like really fun to play, but right after Microsoft took over, I guess they reevaluated it and decided they weren't going to release that. So that was like 6 years in development, and even though it had positive internal reviews, they scrapped it for, you know, whatever reason. So
all right, I want to buff everybody, so hold
okay,
for a second.
yeah, I need to get mana back and buff people. Yeah, I would love for Blizzard to make another MMO, but at the same time, like, I don't want another WoW clone. I want like something innovative, and I don't think they can really pull that off anymore.
Sounds like they were trying to
Mm-hmm.
and failed.
Well, Activision, man, Bobby Kotick
Got shut down.
Yep. Literally, Activision ruined Blizzard, and it's sad.
Pretty much any time a company buys up a game studio that made a cool game, they never make anything good again.
Right. It's like, hey, make the exact same thing you've been making, you know, instead of like, oh, well, you made all these cool, innovative games, but this game was really cool, and we want you to make the same copy of that. Like, no, we can keep making new, cool, innovative games. Like, I'm a firm believer in letting the studio make what they want.
Like, you want to buy the studio, just buy it and just let them do their thing.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Like, you're paying for what they're already good at. Like, why are you going to try to tell them what they're good at? But it's like that in any company. Sorry, Salts, go ahead.
I always wanted them to make like a StarCraft MMO.
I know.
Yeah, that would be
That
cool.
would be badass.
Everyone did.
That's what I was hoping Titan would be like. I was like, oh, it sounds kind of spacey, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
There's only one, like, besides Anarchy Online, was it Defiance?
oh, I remember that, where it had like the tie-in with the TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was-
That didn't work out
Well, Richard Garriott tried too with Tabula Rasa. Remember that shit show?
Yeah, I played
Yeah.
Tabula Rasa.
I wanted that to be good. Well, at
Yeah.
first it was like fantasy based, and like I was like eager to play it. Like all his project he kept announcing, I was so into because I loved Ultima Online so much. And I'm like, all right, cool. He's doing Tabula Rasa, and then it was like kind of fantasy looking, and then sci-fi elements, and then it shifted full on to sci-fi. And then he had all the issues go up on NCSoft, where just, you know, basically we're trying to shut his company down and all that shit. I'm just like, okay, well, this sucks. That never came out. And then before that, it was like Ultima Online 2. They showed like footage of it. Like they had this crazy new combat system. It was all 3D, like EverQuest. I'm like, this looks badass. I was geeking so hard over Ultima Online 2, and then they shut that down. So, oh.
So many expansions for Ultima Online too.
Well, yeah, well, my problem was with Ultima Online 2, they took like all the cool areas that you remember from Ultima Online and made them 3D. So it's like you finally get to kind of see them fleshed out, like Moonglow and all that. I'm like, I can't wait to go there. And it's like never happened. So, I don't know. And then he came out, what the hell was that other game came out with? Something Avatar, where it ended up being like, oh, yeah, it had like cool ideas, but it was like kind of heavily instanced, and it had real money transactions for housing and stuff like that. I'm just like, oh, come on, man. So he pretty much lost me when he did Shadow, whatever the fuck that was. So that's when I knew that he wasn't going to come out with another good game.
Dinged.
Me.
Oh, good.
At long last.
The Raph Koster guy, who was like a big designer at Ultima, and then he also went on to Star Wars Galaxies and helped them do like the big open world areas and stuff like that with the housing and stuff.
Galaxies. Yeah, I forgot to mention Galaxies. I played that for a little bit too.
Yeah, he's what is it? He's at Improbable Games or something like that. They're supposed to have some really cool tech that they've been working on, and they're creating an MMO, but it's supposed to be more like sandboxy as well. It's not supposed to be telling you where to go and quest and all that. So I'm hoping that ends up being good, but there's like no information on it, so I'm just waiting. I don't want to like buy into anything on that until I can actually see something tangible.
Yep, I had a Twi'lek entertainer.
Oh, that's cool. I had one of the dog people. And I want to say I played like a scout or something.
Meemaw's making it rain.
Did you play Leech and I were talking about this earlier. Did you play City of Heroes at all?
No, I never was really into the whole
Superhero thing?
superhero thing.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people at my LAN center that played that though.
The gameplay was really fun, and
I
the
just aged myself, but you know.
no, you did.
All these games already did that.
No, trust me, you're in. If you're around Ryan, we same age stuff, so Didn't age yourself there. Freaking City Heroes had really cool combat, I thought, though.
I used to love on Counter-Strike, the superhero mods.
I never got into Counter-Strike.
I used to fuck with Counter-Strike so much.
I love shooters, but I don't like tac shooters. I don't like holding corners and stuff like that, just waiting for shit to happen. Like, I want to make plays, not sit there and, like, be reactive.
I played like OG Counter-Strike, like someone set us up the bomb Counter-Strike.
Yeah, that's the fun one.
Yeah.
See, I like Team Fortress, and I think that's why I liked Overwatch so much when it came out.
I like Team Fortress. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
2-4 was probably my favorite map.
What was that game that started with an S? It was like, no, it started with T. Tribes. That game was kind of fun back in the day.
Tribes too.
Jazzbot.
Yeah. Those are all the good LAN games.
Yeah.
Unreal Tournament back in the day.
Oh yeah, Cliffy B with Unreal 2K. Loved it.
Wolfenstein.
That was my first like PC game. My like aunt had a computer and she used to babysit me, and I'd go over there. She loved like Wolfenstein and like some crazy downhill skiing game back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
I think my first PC game was Diablo 1.
Nice. Oh, I remember that.
And StarCraft 1.
There you go.
And I think I was like 8 years old.
And nothing back here.
It's acceptable.
Yeah. I do think this is just like not built. I think it butts up against the other place since it's not built out. I think the exact opposite side to the north Rhine leads to the other zone that we need to go to eventually. By eventually, I mean like level 30 or something, I'm guessing.
There don't appear to be anything back here.
Quake 2 and 3, yeah, those were good. I actually liked Quake 4 a lot too. And then I was a huge fan of Star Wars Jedi Outcast.
Did you ever play Battlefield 1942?
Oh, yes. Ryan and I think Ryan and I were the ones who played that together the most. Like the rest of our friends didn't really play it too much.
We used to have like LAN Center versus LAN Center, like.
Well, I was always really into FPS games, and like the rest of our group kind of was, but not too much. And then Ryan was like, I found this really cool game, and he told me about it. I'm like, wait a minute, like, so you can like fly tanks and stuff like that? He's like, yeah, all at the same time. I'm like, wait, what? And then we got in there, and like I jumped out of a plane one time and landed in a Jeep that was moving without pulling out my parachute. I'm like, I'm sold. I saw people like ramming Jeeps into fucking tanks with landmines strapped to them and shit. Just all the crazy shit. I loved it.
Yeah. Even like original PC Halo was fun too.
Yeah.
Fun at LAN Center.
God. I love Battlefield 1942. That and I even liked Battlefield Vietnam, flying the helicopters around in circles and just mowing down a town.
Great.
Yeah.
I never played Vietnam.
It was, though they had the music integrated with the stereos. Yeah. So you just like in the distance you would hear the freaking like 60s Vietnam music blasting. You knew some danger was coming.
Every time I flew, it was Flight of the Valkyries.
Yeah, that or like the fucking Bird is the Word song would start playing.
Yes. That was Will. Pick that every time.
God. But yeah, we'd have like a dedicated pilot that could just like fly around in circles, and we'd stay in the machine guns and just mow people down. So much fun. I like the little like traps they had, like little punchy sticks or whatever the hell they're called. Well, I was a big Battlefield fan for a long time, up until the most recent one, really. I still played it, but it wasn't as fun. Supposedly they're coming out with another new one.
When I started playing WoW, like really playing WoW, I stopped playing like all these other games.
Oh yeah,
Took
it takes over.
Yeah.
Well, just like me recently, I've been playing a lot of Fortnite and Marvel Rivals, and then like this is basically just taking over my life right now.
Like I used to actually play a good deal of FPSs, but I liked, you know, the deathmatch type, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was a fan of that too.
Unreal.
How is Marvel Rivals?
It's really freaking good, sadly. It's like really, really good.
Sadly.
Because it's like, I feel bad because it's like from one of those big Chinese conglomerate studios that, you know, is just selling your information as you play it.
But it's good.
It's so well done though. Like they've made a real legit good game. Like it shits on Overwatch, and I hate saying that because I'm a big Overwatch fan, but it shits on it.
Figured it out. All they had to do was make a good game.
Yeah. Well, they have cool ideas too that Overwatch never did. Like one of the funniest things on there is like you can play the Hulk, and he's a tank character, and then somebody can play Wolverine, and the Hulk can literally throw Wolverine into the enemies. Like you could team up abilities like that. So there's.
How does it compare to like Deadlock?
First off, I hate MOBAs, so I hated Deadlock. I got into the beta test for that and played it like 3 times, and I'm like, nope, this is garbage.
See, I liked Deadlock.
I'm RTS and MOBAs. I'm not your person, so like I'll be biased 100%. The only RTS game I played for any period of time was Age of Empires 2, and that was when we turned on fast build and just had fun with it. I'm not micromanaging kind of guy. Ryan will vouch for that. I don't have the patience for it. But yeah.
And we already talked about Dayak.
Yeah, God, I love Dayak.
I didn't play it that much because I was playing Anarchy Online around the same time.
I wish I would have played Anarchy Online more. The server issues and the fact that like most of my friend group kind of stopped playing it, made me stop playing it. I remember when it came out, they had the weird.
I think I played it longer than anyone.
You did. The server issues. What got me is like I remember reading about it because that's when I started learning about technology back then. They did the thing where like if you lost one packet, like it would like one. It's probably more than one, but it's basically if you lost like one packet, it would like, disconnect you from the game because it was like real strict.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And
I remember being so frustrated having to like uninstall it, reinstall it. Like, it had some. Yeah.
They had some serious launch issues. I remember getting in there like you were in game, but you literally couldn't do anything. It was just frozen for everybody for like hours on end. But the servers were technically still up. You just couldn't do anything in them. Then of course the roller rats. That was great when you were lagging. You just hear the screech and then die 30 minutes later. So yeah, good old Anarchy Online. I like Dayak a lot. Although that's another game with anything with factions. Like we always lean different ways. Like I had buddies that wanted to play Midgard. I like the Albion, but my favorite class was actually Hibernia with the elf people and the Celtic stuff, and that ended up becoming my favorite after I played it. But yeah, like we all wanted to play different things, and we ended up. I think we went Albion for a while, but like some of my other friends were in like with the trolls and the Viking Norse mythology. Did you play?
If any game PvP has made me more angry than Dayak.
It had that effect.
We had these two twin brothers, so I worked like a summer camp at the land center that basically taught kids how to build a computer and like.
Okay, London. I forgot about that.
Camp.
I was excited for that, but I never played a lot of it.
But we had these two twin.
Didn't they come
brothers that
re-release it like
played
months later too?
And no one could ever really tell or remember who was who because they looked exactly the same. So you would actually be able to tell them more apart in game because they had different characters. And they would dress alike too, which is weird, right? But anyway, I think their mom, they still lived with mom. You know, mom would dress them up the same.
Oh God.
Yeah. And they were like high school too, which was even But those poor kids. But like we actually had to like kick them out one day just because they got into, like they knocked over the chairs and got into a fist fight over something that happened in Dayak.
Oh wow. Most people really, really, really hated the class I played in Dayak for good reason, but I fucking loved it. And my dude, I made him look like a rainbow. So like I dyed each piece of my armor like a different color, and so you just saw a rainbow dude, elf named Creeping Death that ran around with a enchanter pet at Mach 20 while my pet slowed everything down. And I just ran up close and blew up everybody up with one spell. It was a fun time for me, not so much for most people.
I didn't really care about enchanters that much. It was bone dancers.
Bone dancers were crazy. Well, yeah, for you, like you had like ways of hiding and stuff because you played a lot of stealth classes back then. So like I couldn't see you, but everybody else was fair game for me. Like they could mez me, but as soon as I broke the mez, I was killing everybody.
There's asshole wizards.
Yeah, I was like, there's that wizard.
Like insta-gibbed me, but dropped that invisibility scroll.
Yeah.
I mean, I can make my pet tank it, I guess.
Well, if we pre-hot him and stuff, we could probably kill it.
I don't know why you were taking damage and not my pets begin with.
But we could also avoid it if you don't want to risk it. I totally understand that.
Really want to do that loss again, thank you.
Yeah, I'm just vibing. We can kill whatever. If we did fight it, I would need time to get mana either way. I'm trying to think. There's another game just popped in my head. Oh, Ryan and I were talking about this the other day. Maybe you heard us. Did you play Secret World at all?
Yes. I forget Secret World. Yeah, Ryan and I played that together for a while.
Oh, did you? Okay.
We played the when they made it again too, the Legends.
Oh, okay. When they
like relaunched it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I played it at launch, and then I played it again a couple years later with Ryan.
That was another
I remember
action
being
game.
in the Discord with the developers actually in that second launch. I found a bug with their like they had thing where you had like keys to open. It was like their monetization, whatever.
Hmm.
And you had keys to open these chests, and I'd like opened chests, but hadn't gotten like a thing out of it or something. When I was talking about it.
Okay, Leash. Yeah, I remember that now.
Discord. And one of the developers he's like, that's impossible.
But it's not.
I said, no, bro, it's not impossible. Like, this is how it is. We had like a private chat thing, and he's like, oh shit, it's a bug. So he fixed it, and then he gave me like a full set of all the stuff that could come out of the boxes.
Nice.
Thank you for helping him find it.
Oh yeah, you probably saved them some fucking serious headache.
Mm-hmm.
Funcom was always a good gaming company. I think they're based out of like Norway.
Yeah, they were. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't really like Age of Conan as much as a lot of people. Like, that's one game I just could not get into.
Age of Conan was fantastic until you got out of the first zone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where the development stopped.
Well, the Age of Conan was fantastic once you got off the fucking beach. Between the beach and the first zone, it was great. But the fucking beach area sucked too. Here's a dagger. Here's like 15 crocodiles. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I played the little set thing, the set priest or whatever it was called.
I didn't like the classes in combat net.
Herald of Set. I played the Herald of Zotli. That was a cool
I just
class.
talked to people with a bunch of lightning is what I did. It's fine.
I turned into a demon and killed people with a great sword and flamethrowers. Basically, it was.
The PvP in that game was pretty fun. And
Yeah.
like for when that game came out, the graphics on it were pretty good too, I think.
It was just unfinished.
It was supposed to be the game that like took over WoW players.
They ended up going pretty far with that, like Conan Exiles off
Yeah.
thing they did though. Like people ended up liking that a lot.
Oh, the one with the dick slider. Yeah, I remember that.
That's like the
Sure,
survival
that's the
game,
thing
right?
to remember from it.
I mean, it was a freaking pun. Pardon the pun, but it was a big deal apparently.
Priest mage guy up top right.
What?
Mage guy top right. Or north, directly north of it.
Oh, you talking about like the cultist guy?
No, the thing
Oh,
that
the Wandering Wind spell.
Yeah,
Those are the mages. Yeah, okay.
yeah.
looks like
He-
mage priest.
Well, they had some cool stuff in that. Then they were like random bosses would like attack your settlement, and, like knock everything down and shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, like other players, you could summon them to use them as like siege equipment, basically.
Yeah. Throne and Liberty had some really cool ideas with that kind of stuff with their sieges and whatnot, and like the whole like you were gonna, you know, if it rained, it would fill up a reservoir or something like that, and open a new dungeon up that's only available when it's like raining and shit, and like your spells would be changed when it was like weather effects were going on, but ultimately it just
Wizard dudes are everywhere.
was bad.
I got pretty far in Throne and Liberty. I defended the siege on the main castle. We won. It was pretty fun, actually.
I couldn't like I don't know. I wanted to like it, but I just couldn't get into it. Although I will say it was a ton better than beta. When I played the beta, I gave a lot of feedback on it. I was like, you guys got to fix this combat. It's like the worst. You can't move when you're attacking. So like melee classes literally couldn't do anything against range classes because you would have to stop to do your animations and swing and everything. So like all they had to do was just keep moving a little bit and casting on you, and you would never catch them as a warrior. So like that's broken.
Oh, that wind spell's coming closer.
Yeah, it is. And
Come
what
back towards me.
I don't know what else was going on with the rest of Throne Liberty other than like they had the whole point and click auto questing shit set up, which I'm glad they got rid of that. That was fucking bad idea.
Let me get out of the wind spell area. These
I'm-
guys are a little bonkers.
I miss WildStar. That's the game I miss.
Wildstar. I don't think I remember that one.
It was made from a bunch of ex-WoW developers, but like it had more actiony combat. Like it was the game that the people didn't like because it had all the telegraphs on the ground for your abilities. So you had like to aim your spells and stuff like that. And people hated it because like when a lot of shit was going on, there's just telegraphs everywhere. So I could definitely understand it. But they were touted as the hardcore MMO because they had like the 40-player rating that WoW had abandoned at the time, and it came out around Mist of Pandaria or around Warlords of Draenor when WoW was in like a major lull. So it got like a lot of steam really quick. But NCSoft did what NCSoft does and ran them into the ground. Plus the attunement was brutal. Nobody wanted to do attune for dungeons at that point in time, which I totally understand. Like that was an old WoW thing. Like you got attuned to do raids, and they were trying to bring that back. But it's like you had to do dungeons in a certain time frame limit, and it was like 5-10 step process, and people were just like, "What? This is dumb." So not only did you have to have people attuned for the raid, you had to have 40 people attuned for the raid. So it just turned into like nobody did the raid. But they had really cool classes and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. The combat was amazing. The graphics and stuff I really liked. It was like really kind of fun, but like it was like WoW, but like Pixar WoW kind of. They had the best player housing I've ever seen in a game, like hands down.
Better than UO.
It was very good.
Yeah, they were adding to it too. They're going to do like neighborhoods and stuff. Like you can customize everything. People made like skate parks and stuff on their like plots of land, and yeah, it was really good. You could have like dungeon and raid entrances on your fucking property, so you could just fight your guild over and go to dungeons and raids from there, which was kind of neat.
Played the engineer. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, the combat was great. I played the little blink dude. I can't think of who it was though. He like had the dual pistols. Spellslinger, that's who it was.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Which is weird because I thought I was gonna play like the Esper because they were like the caster class, but I really like the Spellslinger a lot more. I played like little cat dude with the tail and shit.
No.
Yeah, they had like they had like fox ears and like a cat tail and just ran around, bouncing around, teleporting, killing people. Oh yeah, Leech played the mech medic. Yeah, if you ever want to like feel like you're at a rave though, watch Wildstar Raid and watch all the telegraphs on the ground and pop something edible and you'll be flying. I'm trying to think of some of the older MMOs that came out. I've played pretty much most of them. I know Ryan definitely has. So we talked about Shadowbane.
What was the... Damn it. That one was gonna be like UO Shadowbane-ish. Started with a D.
Start with a D.
Yeah, I had like full loot. You could do like full plate wizard.
Oh,
kind of thing.
I know, because it was like Dreadfall or something crazy like that. But
I can't,
Was it like 2003, 2004?
probably because they were supposed to come out and then they couldn't,
and they didn't,
and then they did finally come out, and then Will like bought into it, I think.
They did like a relaunch at some point too.
Yeah. Like, was it Daggerfall or no? That's
Yes.
was it?
No.
That's
Daggerfall is like a
Morrowind, yeah.
thing. But it's no, but Dagger something. No, maybe it's Fall. I can't remember the game. Damn it.
Oh man.
Darkness. No, that was the
Yeah,
dungeon.
well, that
Dayak.
I feel like I did.
What?
Did I play Morrowind with you all?
I never did so.
Morrowind with people.
I mean, not Elder Scrolls Online.
Oh, definitely not me, 'cause I
played
played-
it briefly.
I played it long enough to know that I hated it. So
I don't think I did.
Sean was playing it.
Yeah, I think you all are trying to get me to play it, and I kind of like watched you play it for a little bit, and I was just like, yeah, good.
I have to
No,
text.
you played.
Did I?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah, you did. Whatever expansion that had the Necromancer come out in it is the one that you played in. But no, not super long. I don't even know if you made it through an entire zone of quests. Probably not.
Oh man, we were talking about what Dark and Light earlier. Was that the MMO that like they had like the crazy terrain and stuff like that?
No, Dark and Light was the one that was supposed to be like a cool new thing, but it ended up just being Ark with fantasy skins.
I remember when it was like they touted like their terrain technology, like yeah, this is all custom. It's like no, it's all not AI at the time. That's not what they were calling it, but it was procedurally generated. And
Like the EverQuest Next thing was supposed to have like the modifiable like voxel terrains and all that shit.
yeah, that was. I guess it was called Dark and Light, the game I'm thinking of. It was fantasy based and all that. Like I remember seeing screenshots and it sounded so cool, but it was just all like smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, it was what it actually was just Ark with fantasy skins. Like that's it.
Yeah, I was so mad.
Ended up being
There's nothing to actually do, like no real combat or anything. I'm just like, come on.
really no.
What were you just talking about just a second ago? You reminded me of something else.
Elder Scrolls Online.
No, it was right before I mentioned Dark and Light. We were. Oh my god, I'm not gonna be able to think of it. EverQuest Next. That's what he was talking about. I remember seeing like the presentation from the developers on that, and it looked really cool. And then they had like the building thing, and I'm like, that's cool. I'm hoping it helps them build it out. But like the combat stuff they showed, and like how it could affect, like you could basically fall through the ground into a dungeon and stuff. Like that's badass.
And it's gone.
Supposedly Daybreak's working on fucking EverQuest 3, which breaks my heart because I know since it's Daybreak, they're not gonna do anything good with it. Makes me sad that they
Make games? I thought they just took over old games.
they take over old games and like hold them. Yeah, luckily I think Ultima Online and Lord of the Rings Online got away from them and they're with Broadsword Entertainment now. But yeah.
Are they still active?
Who?
Ultima Online.
Yeah. I mean, they if they have a dev team, it's super small. So it's not anything crazy, but they just launched like some classic legacy type servers or something like that. But yeah, they're still doing stuff.
Oh, actually, I did know this. Now that I do remember hearing this.
I think it's Lord of the Rings Online, Dayak, and Ultima Online are all under Broadsword Entertainment now.
Yes, that is right.
And then H1Z1 and EverQuest 2 are all under Daybreak because they basically got all the old Sony games like PlanetSide 2. So yeah, man, Daybreak. They said what they're going to do with EverQuest 3. This is what they said, and of course, there's like no information on it because it's like just got announced recently. That they're going to basically they don't want to call it EverQuest 3 because naming EverQuest 2 didn't help it gain an audience. That's what they blamed it on. It wasn't, of course, the other mistakes they made, and the fact that they tried to launch against WoW in the same fucking month.
Yep.
I think that was the biggest issue, obviously, but whatever. They said they don't want to name it EverQuest 3 because it will take away from the audience, but they basically want to make EverQuest 1 but modern. Whatever that means. I don't know if they want to change it or they want to just put a modern skin on it and have the same kind of gameplay. I don't know.
Like,
Basically,
walk around downtown Detroit and try to fix their water problem. Like, what you know, like,
all right. That's
what
like,
are we doing?
and the fact that it's Daybreak, Daybreak is literally just those fucking investment house that just changed their name to a game studio. That's all it is, because they knew people wouldn't want to be buying games from Columbia, whatever the fuck their name was. So they're like, we're gonna rename it Daybreak. Okay. All they do is they just buy up games and park them. I think the only game that's really making them money is like DCUO or something like that. But hey, they're still pumping out expansions for EverQuest and stuff, so obviously they're milking that.
Yep. Every year, apparently.
Yeah. I would love for an MMO FPS just on like a real scale, not held back by console.
Have you heard about my friend Star Citizen?
Right? That's why I'm kind of interested. Ryan knows. Ryan knows me.
It has to work first. But
Yep.
Yeah.
It piques my interest. I want to shoot stuff.
My computer did not like that game.
A lot of computers don't.
That's what I hear.
Oh, this
It's a
guy
RAM
has a
thing, though.
sword.
He has 2 swords. Let's see if he actually has the
No.
sword.
No, his actual main hand sword is different than what they normally have in their hands.
Right. The 2 guy back there has like the 2 daggers. Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. Does he have it?
No, it's just a worn long sword.
That asshole.
So I guess it's those guys that can drop it, but it has a chance to be the magic one. Okay.
Oh, I forgot about Dungeons and Dragons Online. I never actually played that. I
Oh,
thought
yeah.